Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Comic Crack back with you after a long hiatus. So yeah, haven't been around for a while. And I was hoping to do a video last week, but then last week kind of got out of hand too. I started watching some videos again last week and I've been gone a long time. Travis has a beard. It's crazy. It looks good, but it's crazy how I don't understand it. So time just goes by really quick. So I started a show and that went, like, it was about 5 weeks of shooting plus prep and plus wrap and stuff like that. So it was a pretty big show for us. We have a tier system here and each tier represents a certain amount of money, like the budget of the movie. It goes from tier 1 being the highest to like tier 7 or 8 or something being the lowest. This was a tier 2 movie, so our second highest budget. So which just means that it's a lot more work. The expectations of quality and everything are that much higher. They have a little more time as opposed to the smaller budgets where, you know, they usually kind of have to stick to a 10-hour day because that's what their budget is. This one, we had to stick to kind of a 12-hour shooting day just because there was kids involved in it. But that didn't affect, you know, our pre-calls and things like that. Sometimes 2 hours before shooting started, we were in at work. And it was grueling. It was really, there were some days that were really grueling. Luckily, we made it before all the snow fell here. We finished. And we ended off in the studio, so that was nice being indoors and not having to worry about the weather. But there was a good almost 2 weeks where we were shooting at a park. And that was intense because it was up and downhill, down by the like this little kind of stream, river kind of thing in this park. So we were shooting down by there. I had to go get special training on some heavy-duty construction equipment to be able to drive around the set because we rigged things to it. And I think it reached 55 feet up in the air, which was very cool. Like, it was really a cool new toy to play around with, but it just became such a busy show, but a great show though. Like, it was actually a lot of fun. The boss that we were working for came from out of town, came from Toronto, and he's been working in the industry since like the 70s. The director of photography, same thing. Like, their stories come from, like, you know, they worked on Beachcombers. My boss worked on the Edison twins. For any of you Canadians that know that, he even still had a crew gift jacket from the Edison twins that he showed me. Really super guys. I mean, it's great working with guys with so much experience because their tolerance for the usual kind of movie bullshit is lower, so things just run smoother. They don't put up with any crap. They generally get what they want, and it's not getting what you want as in trying to take advantage. It's actually getting what we need to do the work. Making sure we had enough guys on days that we were outdoors, that sort of thing, like extra dailies and stuff like that. So it was a pretty great experience. Unfortunately, the downside is that now it's looking like there's going to be the kind of the same as last year, like another 4 months of no work. So the other thing that I've been doing is looking into some training. There's a course that's offered through employment insurance here where they'll pay for it, and it's metal fabrication and welding, and it runs for 6 months, or up to 6 months, I guess. But at kind of the 3-month point, there's a test that happens. If you pass that test, there's nothing stopping you from leaving the course to go get work, so you don't have to stay for the 6 months. And this starts in January, so I've been dealing with that for the past week or so as well too. Went to a seminar, had an interview yesterday, just dealing with employment insurance and stuff to try to get that set up, because I need to kind of give it a shot, I think, to kind of maybe transition into a new career, because this 6 months off kind of thing isn't working. As much as I love doing the work that I do, it's really just it's not feasible with a little one and, you know, a house and stuff like that. So it would be nice to have a steady paycheck. So that's catching up on that. The videos that I had people do, I bookmarked a couple, but I didn't sit down and actually watch them, so there's no There's no draw, there's no nothing yet, so maybe if you still have it posted, I know I have some of them bookmarked, like Custom Brom Star had one, I think Earl Grey had one as well too. I think there was a La Raza, I seem to remember her having a video with my name in the title too that I bookmarked, but like I said, I just haven't been watching videos for the past, you know, whatever it's been, couple of months I guess, or 6 years by the growth of Travis's beard. So I'm going to try to get to that because now I have some time off and everything. So I'd like to see those videos and kind of get back in to the community a bit because I missed you guys. And like I said, last week I got to watch, I think, 2 videos. I watched one of Travis's and I watched one of Dr. Monkeybot's where he was showing like a haul video and stuff. And just kind of browsing through, I've missed so much. I see that Spiro has a video up now. I think about something about a new channel, but I haven't watched it yet either. So yeah, I mean, I'm around. So, and in the time that I've been off, what I have been doing is still picking up and reading books. And I thought for the rest of this video, I would kind of show some of the newer books that I'm reading and kind of say a few words about them. Nothing too epic. I don't want to make this an epically long video. But I have a video coming that I did about the comic convention, about stuff I picked up there and just kind of thoughts on the comic convention in general. After seeing Dr. Monkeybot's video, he was talking about PC and Eclipse, those companies. Sorry, I have the monitor here and I just heard some talking. He was talking about some PC and Eclipse books that he's been picking up, so that got me going through my PC and Eclipse collection, and I did a little video of just kind of showing off what I had from that collection. I think that was last week that I did that as well. So there's a couple kind of archived videos that'll be coming hopefully this week. I can upload them this week. They're already edited and ready to go. So let's talk about some of the new books that I'm reading. I'm not, as you know, I used to be a pretty major DC fan. And over the past while, I just haven't been. I've been just buying more Marvel, and you know, there's some Dynamite books here, there's some IDW books here, there's a whole bunch of Image books and stuff like that. But as far as like the big 2 are concerned, I've been more of a Marvel guy, which surprises me quite a bit, especially growing up. I was all about DC and Vertigo and stuff like that, but I don't know, there's something about Marvel that just kind of hooked me, and so I've been really into that. That said, I saw these 2 names on this book and I had to pick it up. The Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely, Pax Americana, part of the Multiversity. Sorry if there's a glare there, the camera should adjust itself. And I'm sure you all know what this cover is. So I haven't read this small stack here, are ones that I'm still working my way through. So I just love, I mean, how many times can I say it? I love Frank Quitely's art so much that it's the main reason why I picked it up. Seeing the 2 of their names on it, and I know that doesn't Grant Morrison have something to do with this entire Multiversity series to begin with? So I mean, my ignorance on the whole thing is enormous, but I had to give this one a shot and see what it's like. Hopefully when I start watching videos, some more videos again, I'm sure there's people talking about this series because I know there's a lot of DC guys out there. So that this one I haven't read yet, but I read the first 2, Captain Victory and the Galactic Rangers. And let it adjust there for a minute. First of all, I love the covers on these. I enjoyed the first 2 a fair bit. The story so far is interesting enough. I mean, it's one of those that the story keeps things moving. Is the story blowing me away? Nah, not really. I'm enjoying it, but I'm loving the art. So in this one, I actually see on the front here, what's that about? Let me have a look here. Oh, hey, look at that. So, artist page 1 to 7 and 19 to 22 is Nathan Fox. 8 to 12 is Jim Mahfood. And artist on page 16 to 18 is Farrell Dalrymple, who I believe Earl Grey just had a video. Again, I haven't seen it, but I did see I did see the front of it, or the picture of it when I was scrolling through my subscriptions, so I can't seem to find it right now. But I mean, I love the artwork. I just really, really like it, and the coloring and everything are very, very cool. So yeah, Captain Victory and Galactic Rangers. Again, story not blowing me away, art pretty much blowing me away. Really, really neat stuff. And like I said, the covers are pretty good. I notice at the back they always talk about the variant is stripped. The variant cover is stripped of all the, you know, Dynamite #3, the logo and everything, so you just get the picture, which would be pretty cool, but I haven't seen them once in the time that I've been buying this. I haven't seen that variant. And then I think I might have talked about this one before. I just read issue #1 last night, and I think issue #4 just came out. I only have the first 3, but it's Transformers versus G.I. Joe. And if I'm repeating myself, forgive me. The thing that I love about this is that right there. It's just fucking incredible art and incredible coloring, and it just really, even the dialogue and stuff in this one, it really just has a feel of, again, these teenagers or these kids or whatever, just that love Transformers and love G.I. Joe and wanted to do their own story, and like, hey, what if the Transformers fought G.I. Joe, and oh, that would be so awesome. And you know, just getting their pencil crayons and felt pens and markers and just drawing their own comic, and it's amazing. Like I said, the story is whatever. I mean, I was never a huge, my brother was a huge Transformers guy. I played with G.I. Joes when I was a kid, but I was never huge into either of them. Which isn't to say that I disliked them, it's just they weren't huge in my life. But this definitely gets a little kind of teenage kick out of me because it's pretty incredible. And then variant covers for all of these too. There's some James Stokoe variant covers, a subscription cover that he does. I think he's done one for each of the issues. And James Stokoe from Orcs Dane. And then he did a Godzilla series as well. I think, was it Cataclysm? Is that what it was called? I think so. I can't remember. There's so many Godzillas. So #2, again, #2 and 3 I haven't read yet. These are from the pile that are beside my bed of books to read that I've been going through. This one that I'm about halfway through as well. I found it a bit of a tough read because I'm not a huge fantasy kind of guy, but again, it was one of those that the art really appealed to me. Tooth and Claw, so there's the entire cover there. Again, I mean, I was drawn to it because of the beautiful art and pages like this. You know, it's really, really neat. Like I said, it's tough going for me so far going through the book. I found it was really hard to, here, these pages too, some nice color of some craziness happening there. I don't know what it was about it exactly that made it tough for me to get into, but I found it a tough read. I found I really had to I had a hard time kind of keeping my focus on what was going on. First of all, because I loved each of the pages. And this first issue is 48 pages, no ads, which is also really, really awesome. So you're still getting it for what, $2.99 it says? Yeah, right there, $2.99. And you're getting 48 pages, 0 ads, which is pretty incredible. So I've only picked up this one. I don't have any, I'm not sure if the second one has come out yet or not, but it's one that I'm going to keep my eye on anyway, and really kind of sit and give it a fair shake, you know what I mean? So, because it looks like some quality stuff. Another one that I haven't read yet, and I see that, I think when I had a brief look through it, it's Winter World #1. And this is the sub-variant cover. I don't know, they had 2 covers. This one looked great to me. A couple of the places that I go to even with the variant covers, they don't raise the price like a couple other places in town. I've mentioned this a million times before. Some places automatically put the variants at like $12.99, $13.99. This place still has it at cover price, $3.99. And from what I can gather from this, it's a continuation of the first Winter World Series, which I've read digitally, but I still to this day have yet to find a copy in town. It's one of those things I guess I'll have to order. And I'd like to get the issues. I know that there's I think it was Comic Guy Rules said that, or showed off at one point, that he had a hardcover version of this. And I also see that there's an ad here actually now that I'm just flipping through. Available now, the original story, the graphic novel that started all, hardcover for 20 bucks, trade paperback for $17.99. So this is IDW as well, so there's that. And then just a couple of things I traded in for. I had a stack of books to trade. I had been given a whole, Mr. Tom and I had been given a huge pile of books. We went through them like literally freaking stacks of them. So we went through and kind of took half for ourselves, and then the other half were ones that we weren't as really interested in, so we put them in a separate pile. And honestly, they're like 90s comics. They're not really, there was nothing really rare about them. They're pretty run-of-the-mill stuff, so I thought I'd give it a try. I had some other books as well. I thought I'd give it a try, and lo and behold, the guy took the entire stack at Comic Factory, which is, again, I mean, I can't say enough good things about that place in town. He's an amazing guy, and it's just a great shop. And he had a huge sale going on for graphic novels and stuff. So I used some of that, and it was half price. So a $10 book becomes a $5 book, you know what I mean? So I used some of the trade for this one here, A Life Force by Will Eisner. Will Eisner examines the lives and dreams, hopes and fears of characters enduring and surviving the Depression of the 1930s. Then the rise of Hitler's Germany casts its long shadow on these residents of a Bronx tenement. And then just talks a little bit about Will Eisner himself. So I have a couple of other, I have Contract with God and another one, the name is escaping me right now. I see these all over the place. I'd really like to collect all the Will Eisner books. So I grabbed that one. And then they had Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, Catwoman, When in Rome, hardcover copy of it. So again, half price. Something I've never read. I like the creators, so I thought I'd give it a try, especially when basically I'm getting it for free. So that's the stuff that I'm still working. It's actually a small stack of things I'm still working through, which is kind of good. I've had quite a bit of time to just read before bed kind of thing, you know, so because I have this pile, I think in a video once before, I've shown it off before, I've got a little kind of side table, and it's just, well, it was just fucking stacked with comic books. So I'm trying to read one a night at least. Sometimes, some nights I've had time to read 2 or 3 or something, but I usually try to read 1 book a night, because I just it gets a little too much just looking at these huge stacks of books and justifying picking up new issues when I haven't even read what I've got already. So, a couple words on things I've been reading. The Fade Out. I don't think I really need to say anything about this one. I've been a big fan of Brubaker for a long time, big fan of Phillips. It's an incredible book, you know. I don't know how I missed it, but I missed issue number 2. One of the other videos I watched was a Sleepy Reader video, and he was talking about issue number 3, and that sparked me to think, what the hell happened to issue number 2? Because I remember seeing issue number 1 everywhere for a while, but I don't remember seeing it. So when I went on a trip to Galaxy Comics, they had a copy of each. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most of you are reading this. It's incredible. It's really, it's a really good book. So I'm fully caught up now on issue 2 and 3, unless tomorrow number 4 comes out, but I'm not sure the date on things. And then, as he's done in the past, I've got all the criminal. Oh, and I see there's also a special edition coming out, plus another like a one-shot, The Savage Sword of Criminal, featuring a shocking new tale by Brubaker and Phillips. What he did in Criminal, in the back pages and stuff, he would talk about shows that he was watching. I think it was in this. Okay, yeah, so it was in issue number 4. In the past, in Criminal and stuff, he's talked about movies that have influenced him and things like that, and I've tracked some of those down. Some that I've seen, and then ones that I haven't seen, I've tracked them down and checked them out. So in the back of this issue number 3, sorry, I think I might have said 4, in the back of issue number 3, he talks about Manhattan and The Affair. So as soon as I read that, I grabbed the videos and watched and started watching them. The Affair is on episode 7, I think. I have yet to watch. Incredible show. Wow. It's kind of hit a point on episode 6 where it's kind of starting to veer to some territory that I'm not as interested in, and I'm a little bit disappointed that that's what the outcome is. But the thing with this show is, even from early on, when you think you have it figured out, you just don't. So the premise is these man and a woman that are having an affair, and what makes it really unique is that the first half of the episode is his perspective on a chunk of time, and then the second half of the episode is her perspective on that same chunk of time. And what impressed me the most about the first episode was when he's telling his story, you start to find out that he's being questioned. You eventually find out in the episode that he's being questioned by the police. So that already opens up a whole door of like, what the hell is going on? And believe me, this is no spoilers at all. I really like the way that when he remembers the time of meeting this woman for the first time, she has her hair down, she has this short skirt on, she's a waitress, she's super flirty, she looks really sexy. When she remembers the time, all she remembers is how she was feeling, which was really depressed, and you start to find out later why. And everything that was going on, and her recollection of herself is frumpy and her hair up and not looking really good and kind of fidgety and agitated, and him being a little more of the aggressor, whereas his recollection is her being more of the aggressor. And I really liked that kind of thing. I thought it was really well done. And just amazing characters. And like I said, you think you figured something out, the next episode comes along, you get another little nugget of information that's, oh, so it wasn't that, it's maybe this over here. So I'd say give it a shot if you haven't seen it on Showtime. And then Manhattan, I think I have the first season of Manhattan. It just got a second season is what he said, and he thinks it was the most overlooked great first season. So when he writes about it, the entire show is about the Manhattan Project and the tension it put on the men and women involved and their families, and the government searching for spies among the scientists. It's just very tense and well done, and has some real standout performances. I think it's all on Hulu still, so go check it out, trust me. And definitely trust him. Fantastic show, really great premise, amazing actors, very, very cool look at that period of time, what might have been going through these people's heads as they're building this fucking destructive weapon and honestly believing that their work is going to end war forever, and the drive that puts in them. And now with our perspective, allows a different twist, almost like a noirish kind of, you're doomed, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? But you can't, because they're just going for it, because this is what they truly believe. So follow Brubaker's words of wisdom and check out those shows, because they're pretty good. Caught up with Black Science. Again, I don't think there's much to be said about this one. It's entertaining. Is it my favorite Remender stuff ever? No, but I still really like it. Yeah, I'm not going to stop picking it up. Deadly Class, I'm not quite caught up on. But still really surprisingly liking Deadly Class. Again, like I've said before, I just didn't think it was going to be a book that I liked. Elektra, still picking this up. A little bit of a slow, it's kind of had a little bit of a dip, issue 6 and issue 7. This one has started picking up again. S.H.I.E.L.D. is now involved, Bullseye is involved. The art is still pretty kick-ass. There was an issue where the art kind of faltered, and I don't know if that was just due to time and it just got kind of pumped out really quick. But we're up to number 8, and I'm still really liking this book. It's usually one of the first ones that I read, and again, it's one of those that it's the art that really drew me to it, and it just, for the most part, hasn't let me down. I'm just going through my box of stuff here. I was only able to find this one, but there was a couple of names on here. I think it's Simon Roy and Ed Brisson that have been affiliated with Prophet, the Brandon Graham. So this is called The Field. And from what I can gather from this issue, there's some sort of device that's repeating a chunk of time. And from what I can gather, most of the people don't realize that it's happening, but there are some good guys, bad guys, scientists, etc., who do know what's happening, and this main character seems to be caught up in the middle of it. And like I said, it's issue number 4. I have not seen issues 1 and 3, which surprises me. I should have another look, because I wouldn't mind checking it out, and it's mainly because of the names that are associated with it. The art inside is okay. The cover obviously really reminiscent of like Prophet, some of the Prophet stuff. It's